in the last video I modeled the chairs, and so this is what we have so far. All right, and it's time now. Again, I'm still not sure about the scale. It's time to work on the bed frames that go there. So I'm going to come in here and I don't need to do that. So I'm going to bring in a plane, and let's hide the ceiling for now and just have a look at this thing here. Let's come in and let's scale that in the X and sort of get a sense of the size of the bed, and I kind of think that might be okay. And we can change the scale later as well. So let's do this. Let's get rid of this, and this, and just work with this one piece for now. Let me pull it up, and I'm going to extrude down and actually get rid of that edge. So I have this. I did the same kind of thing on the legs of the chair. I'm going to scale that in the X a little bit. All right, so we're going to create the bed frame here. Let's go. Let's grab those and Shift Control B to bevel and pull. I'm going to give a nice big curve with 5 and something like that. And let's do this. Let's come in here and let's bring the 3D cursor there, and I'm going to move that along and do what I did before for the chair. We're going to mirror off that object, set origin to the 3D cursor, and just get a sense of this bed here. All right, at any rate. All right, so what I'm going to do actually is, I'm not going to do that right now. I'm going to convert that to a curve, and I'm going to start bringing up the bevel depth, and it's kind of thick like that, maybe even, let's try 0.03. Let's say we go with that, and then what I'll do is I'll come in here, grab those 2 points, Shift D to duplicate, pull down. I'm going to scale that out, and that's going to come down here. And we'll have some cross pieces there. So let's do that. Shift D to duplicate, and then rotate Y 90. And we'll scale that down there, and I'll take that one, pull it up. I'm going to take this piece here, we're going to break it out, and I'm going to reduce the size of that a little bit and slide that along, and we'll put on an array modifier, spread it out. We're going to go for 4, and then we're just going to spread it out like this and do something like that. And that's probably okay as it is. So I think I will convert that to a mesh right now. Change the resolution to 3 and then convert to a mesh. That'll apply the array as well. Shade smooth that. And I can change the length of this if and when I want to, and I probably will. This will probably come up a little bit. And so I guess I'm doing it now. I'm going to take these and pull them back down into the floor. So if I like this piece, I'm going to put a resolution of 3 and convert that to a mesh as well, and just join it with that. And we'll shade smooth so we have that piece. And I hope it's not too wide. With that done there, I can now add that mirror and just sort of start getting a sense of that. Well, we're probably going to go with it. All right. So, slash key to focus just on that. Look down from the top. My 3D cursor is right in the middle of that. I'm going to bring in a plane. And I want it to sort of touch there, scale out the X. Basically making contact with that. And bring that down to about there. And let's see how I'm going to do this. I just want the edges right now, so I'm going to X only faces. So I've got the edges, And let's do this. Let's extrude this up a little ways like that. And the mattress is going to slide through this one and then land on the other part. If that makes any sense. I won't do that. Let's just scale it in a bit so it just goes into the bars. We can adjust all that later. How about we try E and Alt S and pull in a little bit. Let's get a bit of thickness like that. And that's probably okay. And then what I'll do is I'm going to bevel these corners. Did I want to use this? You know what? Before I do that, let me take this edge, Shift D to duplicate it, pull it down, and P to break it out, and just have that there as a backup. Because I think we're going to use that. Well, let's get these corners here. That one, and this guy over here. Where are you? And that one. Okay, we'll start off with beveling that. Probably could get away with 3. Something like this. And then I want to grab all of these edges here. So that's all the edges around it. And bevel that as well. And let's just take it and recalculate. Yeah, so it was flipped. We can ask to scale. We can just make it a bit bigger and just push it into there. All right, so imagine the mattress slides through there. And this one here, what we're going to do is we're going to extrude down a little ways. And then we're going to E and I'm going to scale in like that. But it doesn't come in evenly, so I'm going to scale in the X a little bit more. So the direction in the Y and the X are pretty much the same. So we've got that, right? And then maybe making that a little bit. No, I won't. I'll leave that alone. Okay, so I've got that. Let's try solidify on this. And just that default amount is probably okay. It's not exactly the same as this, but that's okay. Let's put on even thickness. And I'm going to apply that. And let's Shift H to focus just on this. And now we're going to do some beveling on this. So that corner, this one, and this one. We'll bevel that, and 3 again. And then there are a lot of edges to do. I mean, they may not all be visible, but I'm going to do them anyhow. Did I get that one, and that one? I think I got all the main edges, and then I'll do in there. So I'm just going to come to there and pull the 3, and I think I will do one more in here. I did Shift Alt and click there. That'll just help with shading, and make sure it's recalculated. Alt H to bring it back. So that the idea would be, I'm sure you all know this, and this is not the perfect design or anything, but it's something that might work. I just want to pretend this is the mattress. It's a little bit smaller, so it fits, and I'll just make it like that. So let's say that's the mattress, right? You can slide it through there, and it lands on there, on these things, and these bars help it from falling out. Okay, but there's more to do on this. And what we're going to do is come in here and take this edge here, Shift D to duplicate and pull it out, P to break it out, and we'll make some supports for the mattress. And I'm just going to extrude out like a little piece like that, but it's not going to be quite as wide. SX. Just pull it in. Then you'd often have like springs and stuff. So I don't want to do an entire spring assembly. What I want to do instead is just give this a little bit of thickness like that. Okay, and we're going to bevel this as well. So I'm going to take those edges and these edges, bevel it just a little bit with 3, and we'll do the top and the bottom. So we got that piece there. and we'll deal with this shading in a bit. And then what I was thinking was I would make sort of like a spring, almost like a spring, really more of a hook. Shift D to duplicate, pull that edge out, use that P to break it out. All right, and just before we use that spring, I just want to look from the end in wireframe and see that, what do I want to see? What do I want to see? I want to see that this kind of lines up with this. So I think it's this thing. So I want to GZ. I'm going to try this anyhow and see if that makes sense there. Or is it too low? I don't know. I think it's okay. All right, so I'm going to take this. I'm going to rotate Z 90 and bring it up. And I'm going to extrude down like this. I'll get rid of that edge. I didn't get rid of that edge. Oh, there it is. And sort of poke that through, and then we'll take this edge and just bring it out a little bit more. And then this one, I'll go into vertex. We're going to shift Control B and pull, and 3 is probably okay. Instead of making a spring, I'm going to make like a hook-like thing. It's still probably more polys than you would need for something like this. But when I make it spring, it's going to be even more. So we're just going to take that and convert that to a curve. And it's pretty small, so it's probably going to jump up pretty fast in size, like that. Pull it down. I can leave that like that. You're never going to see underneath. But I'm even going to make it a little bit bigger, so because you're going to be way out, and you'll never see it, but there might be a tiny shadow cast from it. Let's see how well my 3D cursor works there. Set the origin of the 3D cursor. And I know it's a curve, but I just want to try mirroring this to see how it would look. And I would take this, and I would move it along to here and then array it down. So I think that might be okay. It's a big gap, but you know, I want to kind of exaggerate it so when you see it from a distance, you might actually see something. So how about if we take this and I'll convert that to a mesh and it come up here and put 3 for the resolution and convert to mesh. The mirror will have been applied, and I'm going to join that to that, and then we'll work on an array for this. Let's array this down here, 0 out the X, and I'm going to have 8, I think, of these, so we'll spread them out so that it works. You know, if you had it like that, almost looks like from a distance that they could be springs holding them. And I think we need a support down the center as well. And so for that, what I think I will do is just take an edge, you know, any edge like that, Shift D, pull it out, scale it down to about the thickness you want, break it out. I'm just going to extrude back. I'll leave it there for the moment, and extrude down here. We're just getting a sense for this thing. And let's extrude down to give it some thickness, but just not too much. And we'll recalculate outside. And with it all selected, I guess I didn't quite get. No, we'll just bring it down. Let's go GC, and so we will be underneath these. I'm holding Shift so it moves slower. I just want to think about where it would attach and how. Would it be bolted under, or do I need it to be up on top of this? I don't want it to cut through, those things, you know, somewhere down there. Let's just extend this down a bit. I'll just grab it and pull it. Okay, what if I go into there? Does that look right? It's just underneath there. I think that's probably okay anyhow. So I'll just extend it on this side as well, and we'll never really see that. Okay, let's see who's flipped right now. Nobody. How about that? Okay, I'm going to come back to here. Let's start by putting this all in. We're going to join it in a moment anyhow, but just for now, I'll put it in a collection. I'll call it bed frame. Let's just go back to this. And let's put the shadow on. I think what needs to happen is all of these pieces here need to go down. And then possibly the whole bed needs to come up. So I'm going to take the legs. Well, I could probably live with that. So what have we got here? A mirror. I'm going to apply that mirror. And I'm going to start joining pieces together. This is all going to be the same material. I'm going to apply that and join that. This one I'm going to join as well. And that. And we'll come in. It's always a good idea to merge by distance and see. I didn't get rid of anything. That's okay. So there's one. And if I want to, I can scale that if I feel the need to do that. So I would have one there, and there's another one here as well. I'm not sure how it's tilted, so I'm just going to rotate it a bit like this and push it a bit closer to the wall. I don't think that's quite right. So let's have a look at the reference. Bed frames are pretty small, but I mean, compare it to the door. This is probably done, I mean, you know, this might be an in-game shot, but like if you were rendering this with like 30 millimeter lens, 35, 25, you know, and then so the scale kind of is off. But let's just come back to this. Oh yeah, let's just look at the orientation. Okay, that one's there, that one's there. So it's kind of like, I'm actually going to come in here and I am going to scale them down. Not too much, but something like that. And what I'll do is I'll just pull that one forward a bit, and we'll pull this one backwards, and again rotate Z a little bit more. And let's have a look here. You know, this is what we're getting. I think they're okay. Once I put on, like, say, a longer lens for rendering, it might look a little bit more reasonable. Let's add the material that I've been using for the door. It's not going to make much difference. Just that so far. But there are our bed frames. And the only thing is, I might want to adjust. Well, no, these pieces are pretty close. I mean, I tried zooming in on this, and I tried looking at other bed frames as well. And there's so many different styles. But I'm looking at this that sort of would hold the mattress in, and then this one, and it may not be exactly the same as what I did. This one might just be like a bar with the springs, you know, and I did mine a little bit different, but that's the style. All right, at any rate, we've got the door, we've got the chairs, we've got the bed frames, we've got the door entranceway. The last thing we really need to model is the light, and then we need to start thinking about textures for this thing. So, cool. Well, I'm glad we got that done. All right, so we'll leave it at that, and I'll see you in the next video.